all looking tired and you lady Breton sticking rotten bloody swine. Good morning, me old sporadactysis, dinkles and popty bloody pings, and how the devil are you? Huh? I hope you're well. You joining me here in this godforsaken frozen shithole to the side of Runcorn. We couldn't get loaded last night. They wouldn't load us when I got here. I was here in time, but they had no product ready for me. They had nothing ready for me. Some of ours had been in yesterday and taken everything that was there for yesterday, so I had to come back this morning basically. I was here on the door at 7 o'clock, and yeah, there was a guy in front of me, bless him, had made the schoolboy error of not making sure he'd done everything he needed to do to get loaded this morning. So long story short, his back doors were frozen solid. He couldn't open the back doors and prepare his trailer to get loaded. So I tried to help him as much as I could, and neither of us could do it. And he was here before me, so they're just sorting him out now in that place. They said, you might as well come in front of him. I thought, it'd be rude not to, do you know what I mean? I don't like muffing people like that. I feel his pain because I've been there and done it myself. But it's a lesson learned, and you don't do that again, do you know what I mean? Well, you say, I'll not do that again, but you end up doing it again. But rule of thumb number one is in winter time, you know you're going to be getting loaded in the morning, you're empty, prepare your trailer, prepare everything you need for morning, so all you have to do is get in and get loaded. But no, you couldn't open back doors and get things sorted, but yeah, shit happens. Anyway, we're up the road, we're on our way up to Bonnie, Scotland, baby. We're going to Scotland with this load, so it's still very icy. It was freezing last night. Everything's frozen solid again this morning. It's a really hard frost. These roads won't have been gritted. They're not going to put the gritter down here, so we just have to be extra mindful, really. Just see the Runcorn Bridge over there in the distance. This is Runcorn Docks here on the left-hand side. We're not going anywhere near that though. No, baby. We're going to go right at this roundabout, some mirrors. There's nothing behind us, but you never know. Just mindful where this car's going. It's obviously wanting to come down here, so we'll just ease off that gas. He's pulling over for us, he knows the crack. It gets a bit bumpy here. Just mindful of anything coming out from left or coming into docks and that. Thanking you, sir. He's not looking, but he's just looking now. Anyway, what's coming from the right? Nothing so far, just tickling and fettling, just feathering that throttle. Mindful, mirrors, just mindful in this mirror here. Just nice wide swing now so we don't cut up the inside of this roundabout. Vehicle coming from the left, I believe it's a taxi. Mirrors. Oh, I like it up. It's a bit slippy, this road, like there's been a bit of, it's not snowed, it's just frozen with that hard frost. This is the worst time really, because you get all this shite coming peppering up on blimmin' windscreen. We're going to be going right up ahead, some mirrors. This taxi's just slotting in behind us, off that gas. Just put a signal on now. Just mindfully of what's coming from the left and obviously right as well, but we do have to stop here at this junction. Mirrors. There's nothing coming from left. I've more than enough time to get out because there is a car coming from right, but it's a good distance away. Mirrors as we come out. Mirrors again. Signal's already cancelled itself. I was going to say progress, but just mindful of this parked truck here on left hand side. Mirrors. This guy's turning into the other, so we're right. At least he should be. What's he doing this one? I think he knows. The lane he was in then, he should have been going her, you know what I mean? But he should have been turning into there then, but anyway. We're going left here. Mirrors. Just mindful this thing's coming out. Mirrors. Progress. So mirrors, just mindful because we are now joining from the left. Signals already. There's nothing coming. We're on. Progress. Big windmill up ahead in front. Windmill, bloody windmill, and a great big bloody windmill, that was. Anyway, how are you? Are you alright? I hope you're well. Now then, points of discussion for today. Now, my driving licence is no longer, the ink's not wet anymore. The ink is no longer wet. I haven't been driving these things for years, I've not. For those of you who have followed me regular on this channel and have followed me for a while, I've been about on YouTube for 12 years on different formats and whatnot, and a couple of different channels. But for those of you who know me well enough and have known me a long time, you'll know that in the back end of 2016, my grandmother passed away, our Annie, my hero, our Annie. And that kind of led me on a, you know, when we buried her in 2017, in the January 2017, just mindfully in this slip road, just looking what's coming up, so just mirrors as well. When we buried our Annie, she was my grandma, but we all called her our Annie, do you know what I mean? When we buried her in January 2017, it kind of led me on a journey of self-discovery. I kind of felt at a crossroads. I mean, I was very close to my grandmother, do you know what I mean? We got on like house on fire. She was a great woman, good sense of humour. She was 84, bless her, and she had dementia, do you know what I mean? And she'd gone bloody cuckoo in her later life. But it's still sad when they go. It was devastating, you know what I mean? You know it's coming, but it's still sad when they go. Anyway, just mindful here. So there's still a lot of hard frost around. So after we buried our Annie, again mindful, there's a slip road coming up here. There's one just joining, just looking down. There's nothing coming so far. We're still in a 60. We're on the dual carriageway, the expressway, thingy-majiggy-malarkey. And we're going to have to get over in a second into the right-hand lane. So mirrors. So mirrors, just let this one come past me. Just slot out there. We're going to be going on to the M56. We're going north, like I say, so we're going up to Scotland. So yeah, after we buried our Annie, I ended up coming up, I went away camping for the weekend on my own up the Lake District. I ended up walking up Hard Knotts Pass in the February. It was absolutely bloody freezing. Oh, it was the back end of January, sorry. And it was absolutely freezing. I parked the car down near Ennerdale and I walked up Hard Knotts Pass with a big burger on, and I camped out for the weekend on my own on the old Roman fort. So just backing it right off here because we're going to be going and we want the left-hand lane short. There's some mirrors. Traffic's very heavy over here. That sun's coming up and it's really low, so I've got my signal on early now. Some mirrors. Just mindful. Mirrors, and also mindful of this traffic in front. We are going to want to cross again in a second. So just mirrors. I'll just let this lot filter in. Actually, no, we're in correct lane. I was confused. This is a slip road, so mirrors, just let this van filter in. There's one now filtering in behind me. So yeah, I ended up going up to the old Roman fort on Hard Knotts Pass. I walked it up. It was absolutely treacherous with ice, and I walked. It was a killer walking up, and then I camped out there for the weekend basically. I've done a video of it. I've still got it on my laptop somewhere. It was on the old channel, but that's now gone, hasn't it? Anyway, that kind of set the ball in process then, and then 2 weeks later I ended up coming up to try Scafell Massive. and it was a disaster, really. That one. I went up the tourist route, but because it was heavy snow, that was in February, and it was snowing. We got on the top of Scarfell, but I didn't get to Scarfell Park. I'm saying we in the third sense. I was filming, so it was you and I basically, but I was on my bloody own, you know what I mean? So I got up to Scarfell. Well, I say I'm on my own. There's loads of people walking up as well. So technically I wasn't on my own. There was other people with me, but they were strangers. I didn't know them. Anyway, there was about 5 of us all together. Veered off the path in the blizzard. It was absolutely a whiteout. You couldn't see your face. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And we thought we was going up to Scarfell Park. We actually went up. What's it called? Something Gap, and it was a bastard of a thing as well. I think it was the Devil's Tongue or something Gap, and it goes up through this thing here. And when you get to the top, I've done the same walk in better conditions. When you get to the top of this thing, you burn left basically, and that takes you up to the park. It's like boulders and whatnot. We ended up lost and confused, and we turned right, and we was heading up for God knows where. We was heading up for the other side of a peak on Scarfell, because it's a mountain range, isn't it? And I think halfway up this thing, there was 5 of us trying to scramble up it. It was 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Honestly, it was horrendous. And halfway up, I decided enough was enough. I said, "This is no good, guys. I said, I know I don't know you, but this is dangerous. I said, I'm turning back." I said, "Yes, you lot do it." Anyway, one lad wanted to continue. No, we'll be all right. The park's just up here. None of us had a frigging clue where it was. Do you know what I mean? Because we couldn't see. We had a rough idea what we were doing, but we couldn't see. So I managed to convince these lads to turn around. It wasn't worth it, and I'm glad we did, because when I got back down to better level, I realised what we'd done, and we was going. It was the blind leading the blind. It was ridiculous. We'd have probably been dead. You know what I mean? It's not a laughing matter really, but it's knowing your limits, isn't it? So a couple of weeks later, I then went up when the weather was better, and I did Scarfell Park properly. So just mirrors, these lights are going to change now. We are going left onto the M56. And that kind of led me, that kind of got the ball in process then. I'm going all around my arse telling you this tailgate to my point answer. But anyway, that kind of led me on more trips to Cumbria, and then I thought, I want to move up here. So it took a bit of thinking outside the box, and I ended up moving up to Cumbria in 2017. I was still working as an industrial window cleaner then. I'd been working as a window cleaner on and off for years. But I was working for somebody else. I was working for a big national firm, what did a lot of banks, building societies, supermarkets, that sort of thing. So mirrors, we're now joining from the left. And I managed to get a transfer. They couldn't find anybody. I was working for, it was a national company, but I was working for the Greater Manchester department, and our office was in Manchester. And at that time, Cumbria still came under the northwest region of Greater Manchester, the northwest basically. And they couldn't find anybody up there. They kept taking lads on, but they weren't doing the job properly. They were just coasting until they got on with the job. So I said, I'll do it. I'm moving up there. Are you sure? And I said, yeah, I'm single. I've no kids. I'm not married. I've no ties. I said, I'll do it. Right. How long will you need? I said, give us a month and I'll be up there. I said, no bother. So they put me on the job. I ended up moving up to Cumbria. I went lodging. I ended up staying in Penrith, and I went lodging. I think it was 80 quid a week all in. So ideally I had a job come up to. Do you know what I mean? Job were a good one. I then realised I wasn't happy in that job. I'd come to one crossroads. I thought, well, I've moved up to Cumbria. I've got established myself. I ended up settling in Penrith. And then I thought, right, I want to change my job. So then I packed that job in and I went van driving. I went parcel delivery driving for APC. And I was absolutely at 300 mile an hour every day. You were doing over 100 drops a day, multi-dropping on a 3.5 ton Mercedes Sprinter van. Barrow-in-Furness was my round. Well, Barrow-in-Furness is a big town and a big wide area of postcode. And I was the only one doing Barrow. There was another lad on Ulverston and Lake District surrounding areas, but I was the Barrow man. So I was first to leave the depot in the morning and last one back at night. And it was horrendous, that job, but it got me to where I needed to be. I just used it as a stepping stone. I then met my now wife, and I started saving up for my heavy goods, basically. So long story short, I done my class 2, and then I didn't want to do class 2, I wanted to do class 1, and I passed my test in 2019. So I've only been driving these things for like 4.5 years, do you know what I mean? So I'm no expert, I've never claimed to be an expert. Every day for me is a school day, and it always will be, no matter how long I've been driving, whether I've been driving 20 odd years, 4 years or what, you know what I mean? So yeah, 4.5 years I've been driving class 1. So I'm no expert. The ink's no longer wet on my licence, and I have a good idea what I'm doing, and I do believe that I'm a good, safe, competent driver. A lot of people keep saying that I would make a good driving instructor one day, HGV driving instructor. I happen to agree with you, I do. But I ain't going to go down that avenue yet, or certainly go down the avenue of driver training, because I don't feel as if I've got enough years under my belt. I can't be going to lads who's been driving 20 or 30 years and teaching them CPC courses and telling them how to suck eggs. Do you know what I mean? I've not got enough experience under my belt yet. I think for that I need a minimum of 10 years. And at the moment I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm as happy as a pig in shit driving these things for a living, mate. It's not always the best of jobs. But anyway, the point I'm getting to, I've rambled all around my arse and to forget to this point. So just mirrors, just mindful, there is a junction coming up here on left. There's one van coming down Slip Road, followed by a car. If I can get over, I will do. Mirrors, there's nothing in lane 2. I'm just going to come over because this car is just about meeting me now. I know some people say, oh bollocks to them, it's up to them to adjust the speed accordingly to join the motorway, but if I can, I'd rather work with them than against them. So mirrors, we're now slotted back in. So where was that? Yeah. So I've been driving these things for 4.5 years. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I joined this industry. I knew full well what I was getting into. I always wanted to do this job 20 odd years ago, but life kind of got in the way. But as I say, it came to a crossroads in my life when we lost our Annie, and I thought, well, what am I doing here? I'm scratching about in a circle. In same circle, back in Wigan, doing same old shit job, living for the weekend. I wasn't happy in my job. I couldn't be doing with it. It was just, oh shit, it's Monday again. I was on crap money. And on the window cleaning job, after tax and insurance, I was only bringing home 300 quid a week. Sometimes 310. So by the time you'd paid your rent out, got your shopping and all that, you know, had a drink at weekend, you were skint again come Monday morning. I was just living for Fridays, and I wasn't happy. I was miserable. But as I've said to you on a couple of occasions, academically, I am qualified for bugger all. I've no trade behind me. So all my life, I've always ended up doing outdoor manual labour. Do you know what I mean? It's all I've ever been good for. I've been a donkey. I've done donkey work all my life. I used to do a lot of odd carrying when I was younger. I was an infantry soldier as well when I was a young lad. Come out of the army, did a bit of more odd carrying, went to Australia, manual work. So I've been a donkey all my life, but as I'm getting older, I don't want to be doing donkey work. I'm not as fit as I used to be in my 20s. I can't be doing with donkey work and back-breaking work for a pittance, do you know what I mean? So I knew what I was getting into when I joined, when I took this job, when I took my test and got into this job. I knew exactly what I was getting into. I knew it was going to be hard work, long hours and long days out in all weathers, but I don't mind it at all. But for me now, I think if you take a job as a tramper, yeah, you are paid. I've gone all around my arse to get to this. I've given you a brief history of Monothea, haven't I? But if you pass your test and come into this industry and you take a job as a tramper to get experienced, it's not rocket science. The job description is in the title of the job you're doing, a tramper. You are paid by a company to stay out all week in this truck for 4 nights out. Sometimes it can be 5. You can end up stopping out on Fridays if, you know, things happen, you get kept out. But you are paid to stay out in this truck, in a lay-by, in a services, whatever. You are married to this truck, do you know what I mean? But what gets on my nerves at the moment, I'm not going to mention any names, but I saw one video last week and I was like, who the fucking hell's this dickhead think he is? There's one guy posted a video last week, and he's not, I mean, I've only been driving 5 minutes. This guy's been driving 2 minutes. I think he's done nearly a year or a year he's been driving. And he does these videos trying to be a guru, trying to change the industry, and he's on about tramping and that. Yeah, what companies need to start doing is getting drivers home one night a week. It'll boost your morale, and you can see. I thought, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? You're paid to drive the truck, just drive the fucking truck. And two, I thought, this guy's living in cloud cuckoo land, he really is. But he took a job on as a tramper, knowing full well that he was being paid to stay out 4 nights a week, and then starts doing videos moaning and twining that he should be home 1 night a week. And I thought, that's just ridiculous, do you know what I mean? It's but you see, a lot of people are doing that now. They're coming in, starting the job, and then starting moaning that they're getting kept out 4 nights a week. It's like, well, that's your job, that's what you're getting paid to do. I mean, aside from a family emergency, the company are under no obligations to get you home during the week. You took a job as a tramper, so you are paid to stay out in the truck all week and deliver goods from A to B. The company's obligation is to keep the wheels turning on every truck in their fleet with a load on its back, because that's the only time this truck is earning money. This truck I'm in now is earning money because it's loaded and I'm heading to Scotland. So the wheels are turning, everybody's getting paid, including me. That is my job. That is what I get paid to do. That is the bread and butter. It doesn't matter who I'm hauling for, who I'm driving for. My job is to keep the wheels turning on this truck from A to B with a load on its back. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm not here to be a YouTube influencer. Somebody said on a status I put on the other day, here we have another wannabe YouTube star who's been driving 5 minutes and just wants to make a name for himself on YouTube. Wrong. Granted, I have been driving these things for 5 minutes. I have. But I know what I'm doing. I'm experienced enough to know that the ink is no longer wet on my licence. I don't want to be an up-and-coming YouTube star, hence I have not monetised this channel. This channel is not monetised. I do not make a penny from YouTube. I couldn't give a shit if I get 200 likes, 2 views, 2,000 views, or 250,000 views. It matters not one jot to me. I just do these videos because, one, it gives me something to do. You know what I mean? It gives me a bit of a buzz. I must admit, it does give me a bit of a buzz. It's nice when people do comment and say, oh, Borothea, well done and that. I don't go flicking myself off to Trishan over it, just mindful, because there's one coming on here, he's cutting in, and another one just taking a nice wide swing. Other than that, we're alright. But yeah, my priority and my bread and butter is to drive this truck and do what I get paid to do. I don't want to be a social media influencer. For me personally, and it is just my personal opinion, you know, opinions are like arseholes. We all have one, don't we? And most of them stink. Most of us stink. Myself included. But for me at the moment, there's far too many people now passing the test, and all they want to do is do videos. They're more interested, and I happen to think that of this particular person whose video I watched, I happen to think this guy is more interested in being an online celebrity than driving the truck, than being a truck driver. At the moment, I think the truck is just a means to an end to get him popular. And I think a lot of people are doing that. They just want to make a name for themselves on YouTube, a name for themselves on TikTok, and they're more interested in putting ads on the videos and getting companies to sponsor them with products so they can endorse things and get paid. They're more interested in doing that. Personally, I think if you're going to start doing these kind of videos, I waited for over 2.5 years before I started doing driving videos. On the previous channel I had, you never saw me doing any driving videos. I did a couple of videos in the cab of a night time, just in my own free time, but I never did any driving videos until I was competent enough to know that I can drive this vehicle in a safe and correct manner and still talk at the same time. I mean, somebody said before I shouldn't be driving whilst I'm talking on camera. Well, at the moment I'm not looking back at this camera. I know it's there somewhere and I know it's recording, but at the moment I'm just talking out loud to myself, so it's no different than being on a hands-free phone call, but there's nobody, well obviously there's nobody talking back to me. So everything here is hands-free. All my concentration at the moment, even though sometimes I'm driving with one hand and I'm doing that, articulating, but you know what I mean? I'm still in full control of this vehicle. And I'm driving it in a safe manner. All my concentration is on the road and what's happening around me. It's just the fact that I'm talking out loud to myself because you're at the back of me in the jump seat. But I never did any driving videos until I was confident enough that I knew what I was doing driving this truck. I waited over 2.5 years before I started getting into anything like that. So all I'm saying is, I think anybody what's coming into this industry now, ask yourself the question, why do you want to do this job? Because it's not for the faint-hearted. It's long hours, it's long days, it's winter time at the moment, it's bloody freezing. We're coming off here, some mirrors were just at the 200 yards marker. It's absolutely freezing. Guy in front of me this morning couldn't get his back doors open. He might be sat there till 10 o'clock till they start thawing out, do you know what I mean? It's long hours, long days, you get spoken to like shit on some sites. Other motorists hate you. They see a truck and they want past it, do you know what I mean? Do some research into what this job's actually about and ask yourself, why do you want to do it? If you don't want to stay out in the truck, get a job on days delivering to supermarkets or IDC centres. That'll suit you down to the ground. But sometimes you're running low on driving time, it's pitch black dark, it's dark when you get up in the morning, it's dark at night time when you're clocking off. You can end up working till 6 or 7 o'clock at night from like, you know, daft o'clock in the morning. There's nowhere to park, you're trying to play lay-by roulette and just look for a patch of grass or anywhere what will get you parked up for the night, and it's not sexy, do you know what I mean? But I love it. I think this is a way of life. I know I have said on a previous video, if you're a young person, if you're a young person, don't waste your life tramping. Get a job on days. Get home of a night time, enjoy your life, because I spend more time in this truck and more time sleeping in this truck than I do actually at home with my wife. I'm paying a mortgage on a house back in Carlisle that I only live in 2 nights a week if I'm lucky. Do you know what I mean? So if you're young, it's just my opinion and my advice is don't waste your life tramping unless you really want to do this. And then if you do, go and do European or something. Bloody get the most out of it. So just mirrors, traffic slow ahead. It's the M6, it's always shite. I'm going to run you up to China and Richard and then I'm going to cut you loose there, I think. So yeah, I think you need, you know, just my personal opinion and views, but I think if you're coming into this industry, you need to ask yourself the question, why do you want to do this job? And certainly if you're a vlogger, why do you want to do this job? Is it just for views and attention? Because at the moment, vlogging in this kind of industry seems to be on the up. But I do think that the majority of people what's doing the videos at the moment are just doing it for their own personal gain, for their own financial gain. They're doing it to get views, hits, likes and attention and monetize the channels and make money off it. And some people are making more money off YouTube than they are actually getting paid by their employee driving the truck, and fair play to them. But the truck is still a necessity, because without the truck they wouldn't be able to make the videos, would they? Do you know what I mean? But it really bugs me when someone who has only been driving for almost 12 months has no idea what they're talking about. And I've watched a few of this particular person's videos now, and they have not a fucking clue what they're talking about from one video to the next. They've no idea what they're doing. The driving standard is fucking appalling half the time, and that's just my view, that's my opinion. The standard of the driving is absolutely fucking appalling. They have no idea what they're talking about, but yet they're doing videos trying to change the industry. Do you know what I mean? All about tramping and we shouldn't be doing this, we should all stand together, we should do this, that and the other. And I'm sorry, but it's one of them. You know what you're getting in. You know what job you're applying for when you apply for it. You get offered the job as a tramper. You're expected to, and you are paid to stay out in that vehicle. If you don't like it, fuck off and do something else. Don't become a tramper, or don't apply for a tramping job. Don't start making videos trying to change the industry and trying to rile everybody up and let's do this and let's do that, because you're not going to change the industry. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I knew what I was getting into personally when I took this job on. I knew what tramping was about. I knew I was expected to stay out in the truck. But no one forces me, nobody forces me to do this job. I choose to do this job because I actually enjoy this job. And I'm earning decent money. I'm earning a lot better money than I was as a fucking industrial window cleaner. The moment I stop enjoying this job and the moment I want to do something else, I will pack this in and go and do something else. At the moment it's paying the mortgage and my wife's still happy for me to do it. Yes, I could get something on days, probably for equivalent money. I could. There are jobs out there, some of them are difficult to get hold of, but there are jobs out there paying on days equivalent to what I'm earning now. And I'd be home every night. I'd still be doing 12 hours, but I'd be home every night. But at the moment, I still enjoy tramping. I do enjoy this job. It's a way of life for me. And I enjoy it. I enjoy not knowing where I'm going to stay from one night to the next. And I enjoy getting about all over the UK. Whereas if I were on days, I'm pretty much on the same runs. Do you know what I mean? And I would get bored with that. But I enjoy the job. I love it, mate. I fucking love it. I wish I'd have done it 20 years ago. But like I said, life kind of got in the way. But I absolutely love this job. You get your bad days, don't get me wrong. But this job for me is a piece of piss. It really is a piece of piss. It's easy. You've got to have your wits about you driving this bloody thing. Of course you have. But it's not rocket science. The job is easy. And I couldn't get this kind of money doing anything else than this. Do you know what I mean? So I love it. But what really gets on my tits is when people that have not been doing it 2 minutes with no experience start trying to fucking gob off and change the world. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. And I'm going to make a prediction. I don't think this person in question, I'm not going to name them, but I don't think this person in question will be doing this job in 5 years' time. I really don't. I don't think they're cut out. I personally don't think they are cut out for this industry. I don't think they're cut out for this job. I don't think it's for them. I think they'll end up working in an office, probably end up as a planner in a transport office or something, or a transport manager. But I don't think they are cut out for this job, and I don't think they will be doing this in 5 years' time. I'm willing to be correct. I'm willing to be proven wrong, and I hope I am proven wrong. But I don't think they will. I don't know this person personally, so I've not got an axe to grind against them that way. So just mirrors, just mindful. There's one overtaking him. I'm just backing him off because this guy's coming out. He wants out. Yeah, it's not like I'm having a personal pop at this particular person because I don't like them. It's not that I don't like them. I don't know them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know them personally. But from what I've seen of the videos, it's quite annoying. It fucking is annoying. One, as I've said, the standard of the driving is fucking appalling half the time. And two, they have not a clue what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. They just keep rambling the same fucking repetitive shit, and they've no idea what they're talking about. They've not got enough experience to know what they're talking about either. Neither have I. Do you know what I mean? These are just my opinions, but again, not everyone is going to agree with this video when I put it out. I accept that. I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. I don't want everybody to pat me on the back and say Borothy and blah blah blah. You know, but one thing with me is I say it as it is, or as I see it. I don't sugarcoat anything. What you see with me is what you get. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you I don't know what I'm talking about. Mirrors, I'm coming across. We are coming into temporary roadworks for 50. 9 times out of 10, I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? But I just say it as I see it. And for me personally, I think if you're gonna start doing videos, trying to be an influencer and influence society, and trying to be a guru or an expert telling people how things work in the trucking industry, I think you need to know what you're fucking talking about before you start doing that, because somebody will always pick you up on it. Like I've said, people have said that I'll make a good driver trainer or HGV driving instructor. I think I would eventually, but at this moment in time I have not got enough experience behind me to start trying to tell other people how to do the job or how to drive the truck. When I do these driving videos, I have never tried to be an instructor. I have never tried to be an expert. I always say to you, I am no expert. I am just telling you what I'm seeing and what I'm reacting to, and this kind of driving style works for me. I never try and teach or preach to anybody, do you know what I mean? Well, that's just my view on things, guys. You know, that's, as I say, opinions are like arseholes, they really are. But if you're going to come into this industry, right, with no experience behind you, you need to get experience. The best way to get experience is to go out tramping. Or if you're lucky enough to get on an agency, mirrors, we're breaking up ahead. If you're lucky enough to get on with an agency, or somebody will take you on to get the experience and find a job on days, they're not fair play. But don't apply for a tramping job and then start moaning that you're not getting home all week, or wanting to change the industry, wanting everybody else to work around you. This job does, you know, this job is what it is. The company and should not have to work around you. As harsh as that may seem, the company's obligation is to keep the wheels turning on the truck with a load on its back. You are employed to do a job, to drive from A to B. That's what I get paid for. That is my bread and butter. I am under no illusions whatsoever that as soon as I'm off, or if I want to pack this job in, or I want to start, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, another arse will be put straight in this fucking seat and will drive the load from A to B. There's far too many people now moaning and twining, and I want to do this, I want to be a driver. They want a big V8, they want a big V8 truck, right? They want a big V8 truck or a big shiny Volvo with all bells and whistles and flashing lights, gadgets, jigglers and hula-ha's and all things this, that and t'other, but they don't want to put the hours in. They expect to be doing 10, 11 hours a day. Some people now, before they've even set out on a Monday morning, are already moaning and twining on about what time they're going to get finished on Friday. You know, they want the big money and the big trucks, but they don't want to do any fucking work. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to do the job. As, you know, just my opinion. I sound like a right moaning old bastard now, don't I? But I'm just saying it as I see it. But if you're going to come into this industry and this job, know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Research it before you come in. It's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it's not all fluffy, nicey like some vloggers out there will like to have you believe it is. It's not. It's fucking long days, long hours, all kinds of horrible conditions, treated like shit, spoken to like shit on a lot of sites. Motorists hate you, you know what I mean? Everybody sees you as an inconvenience. But yet when we had lockdown on and COVID, people were stood on bridges clapping at us and waving and calling us fucking heroes and that. Do you know what I mean? Now we're just treated like lepers again. But everything you own and everything you possess has all come on the back of a truck at some point during its journey before you picked it up and bought it in a shop or online, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a hero. I don't want praise. I don't want thanks. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I just want to do my job. I enjoy this job. I love it. I do love this job. I do think it's a way of life, and I think it's it's either in you or it's not. I fucking love it. I really do. I enjoy doing it. At this moment in time, I will be doing this for the next 20 odd years, but I do reserve the right to change my mind at any time. Do you know what I mean? Well, no, someone said last week, oh, you're a wannabe YouTube star. I'm not. I've been on and off YouTube for 12 years. If I was a wannabe YouTube star, I've now got over 5,000 subscribers on this channel. If I was a wannabe YouTube star, I would have monetised this channel by now, and I would have been pumping video out after video out and using clickbait and all sorts of shit just to get the views, just to get the money. I don't give a toss about that. I really don't. So I've no intentions of monetising this channel. If we get to 10,000 subscribers, I'd be daft not to monetise it. And if my videos start suddenly getting viral hits, I mean, that video I did about the building site with the lads on the, you know, it was recorded over 2 months ago now, that footage. I never thought in a million years it would go viral as it did. But it's now had, I think, 500,000 views, or just coming up to 500,000 views. Had I monetised that channel, I would have made some money on it, on that video. But that's not what I'm about. I don't give a toss about that. If all my videos start getting that many views, then I've been mad not to monetise it. Do you know what I mean? But at this moment in time, I'm just happy to do what I'm doing. And the majority of you seem to like what I'm doing. It seems to work for me. There are a few who are subscribed to me that can't stand me, that don't like me, but that's just social media for you, isn't it? That's just life. Well, this traffic's pretty shite here. It's not the best. We're just coming up on Wigan. We're on the outskirts. We're on fringes. We're on fringes. We're affiliated. We're affiliated with Wigan at the moment. But no, like I said, when my grandma passed away Christmas time 2016, we buried her in January 2017. It was a sad time, but it was kind of the best thing that could have happened to me at that particular time, looking back now, because it put me on a crossroads and it put me on a different journey in life, and I am here now where I'm at. Do you know what I mean? So I literally up sticks from Wigan, moved to Cumbria and started out all over again from scratch. I'm now married. I have a mortgage on a house I pay for, and I'm lucky to live in 2 nights a week. But I'm all over the UK doing a job I love and getting paid well for it. And I love the job. Not necessarily with this company. This is only the 3rd company I've been with since passing my test. Some people pass the test and the jumping ship from one company to the next. I cut my teeth with the first company. I stayed with them for 4 years. I then went on flatbeds for John Miller's. John Miller's are a great company, good bunch of lads. But I gave it 5 months. I think if you start a new job, you've got to give it a minimum of 3 months to decide whether it's for you or not. I gave it 5 months and I decided the job wasn't for me. There was nothing to do with the company. I did love flatbed work. I just had enough of building sites. I mean, not all, but some building sites, speaking to you like shit, treating you like a fucking wanker. And as I say, it was winter. It's winter time. 20 odd straps in winter, ankle deep in shit. I just decided the job wasn't for me. So there's no shame in it, you know what I mean? I handed me notice in, walked away, and I'm starting here what I'm doing now. But I'm one of them. I won't stick at a job. I won't stick in the same company that I'm not happy in. There's far too many people out there who are stuck in a rut. They end up bitter and twisted. You do a job for 20 odd years, you don't like it, you can't stand the company, but you won't change. You won't have the balls to take one. And all it takes is just making that first step forward and changing. Do you know what I mean? But some people won't do that. They just stay stuck in a rut and then end up bitter and twisted and fed up and angry at life. I won't do that.
if something's not for me, and I've give it a good go first, and then I decide it's not for me, I'm away and I'll get something else. Do you know what I mean? But everyone's different, aren't they? If we were all same in life, then life itself would be boring. So I'm just mindful of this low loader here. It's not a wide load, but there's a couple of machines on it, diggers, just sticking out a little bit. I think I've rambled on for a fair bit now, haven't I? Well, no, that person who I was on about, some of you will know what I mean. I'm not trying to start YouTube wars, but I don't know the guy personally. I don't know him personally. So I've nothing against him that way, but I just think the way he comes across as a fucking idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't know what he's doing. And I think he's more interested in making a name for himself on YouTube and TikTok and social media than actually doing the job. And I think he needs to concentrate on his job rather than spouting shite like that on YouTube. Because you're not going to change this industry, and you've only been doing the job just coming up to 12 months. Do you know what I mean? I've not been doing it that long myself. I'm still relatively new at it myself. But I don't try and change the industry. I don't try and be the big I am. I'm just me. Do you know what I mean? There'll be people that agree with him, of course. There'll be people that disagree with me. But I really think that people should just concentrate on doing the job they're getting paid to do, rather than trying to change the entire road haulage industry with videos that they don't know what they're fucking talking about. You know what I mean? Well, there you go. People will take this the wrong way and think I'm having a go at somebody. I'm not. Tell you what else boils my piss as well. Travel lodge kettles. You like that? Right, so we're going to be looking at getting down the other side of Wigan, picking up the China Bridging services, and then I'll cut you loose. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I don't know how long we've rambled on for here. I don't even know if we're still recording. As I said to you before, when I record these things, I just put the thing in the holder there, press record, turn around, and off we go. If I think the video's gone on too long, or I want to edit it down, it's been a particular boring one, then I'll edit it just to start and finish later. 9 times out of 10 I just press record, off we go, and then I press stop, and then I'll just upload it straight away. There's no fancy editing on this channel. What you see is what you get. It's just me rambling on about shite half the time, but driving in real time. And as I say, these are just my opinions. I'm entitled to an opinion. Everybody seems to have an opinion on what I put on YouTube and what I have to, you know what I mean? What I put out there. Everyone's got an opinion on me, so I'm allowed to have an opinion on other people as well. And these are just my views. And I'm not necessarily right. I mean, other people watching this now may think I'm talking a load of shite and I've no idea what I'm fucking talking about. You know, you'd be right. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, but I just say it as I see it, or as I see it for me. You know what I mean? We're just at junction 23 for Haydock. They have actually got all of Wigan to contend with yet. So we could be going for another 20 minutes on this bloody video, yeah.
Idly, 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 idle, and the stinking swine in rotten bloody shoe.
I haven't had any breakfast yet, and I'm just conscious now that it's coming up on 5 to 9. So I'm getting a bit peckish like. It's going to be a lovely day today. Sun's out. It's going to be lovely. It was absolutely freezing when I woke up this morning. This is causing tailbacks here. This guy's wanting into that lane, I think, yeah, so he's causing a tailback there. You're not in the right lane, you see. I'm just going to stay out into lane 2 at the moment because there is a slip road what's going to be joining northbound. So that was causing the queues there then. People what's wanting over at the last minute, but nobody will let them in because they've all been queuing themselves. Do you know what I mean? So nobody will let them in. Well, it has a knock-on effect then for everybody else in lanes 2 and 3. So mirrors, just mindful. There's 2 just joining there. I can't see anything up this slip road yet. There still could be something. Some mirrors. Some mirrors again. We're going to come back across now into lane 1. I'm now bearing down on this truck in lane 1. Some mirrors. The guy behind me is going to be pissed off and I'm coming back out. He's flashing me. The sun's burning my eyeballs out in that mirror now. I can just see, I can see enough of the truck behind me. This guy's going a bit slower. We are in a 50. I am doing 50. Mirrors, just mindful of this Volvo. Its back wheel just come across into our lane then, or on our white lines. Just mirrors, mindful. Again, I'm just going to stay out into lane 2 for now. There is another junction going to be approaching soon. I'm just mindful now that traffic's just slowing in lane 2 up ahead. Guy's breathing down my neck now in this other truck, so I'm just going to come back across into lane 1, let him through. Bit of common courtesy. Trying to hold it back now between 48 and 49. We are just descending down a bit of a hill. Here's your junction for Ashton. This is a short slip road here, so technically I could have stayed out into lane 2 to give these people the opportunity to get on because it's a short slip road. And traffic was... This guy was breathing down my neck, get over. Anyway, we're alright. Just mindful, where's this car going? It's coming across. Backing him off. I'm going to come across because we are approaching junction for 49 at Wigan. Right behind me now. Most of this traffic will be coming off here, I think. I'll be glad when they get this bloody thing over with. It's been going on this for that long now. Widening, they're putting it into a smart motorway basically, a 4-lane smart motorway from Warrington there all the way up to Preston because you always get bottlenecks. Well, they've been on with it for that long now, you think, how long does it frigging take? Do you know what I mean? Just get on with it. So mirrors, just backing him off. They're all just meandering, come off at this junction here, you see. Just going to stay out into lane 2 because I don't, this green van seems to be going a bit slow in lane 1. So when we get up to speed in a minute, we'll probably close up on it. Just mindful, this guy's coming across in BM. The BM with an indicator, you don't fancy that, a BMW using an indicator. Just mindful of this van here now coming undertaking us. Just wondering what it's going to do. We are just going to start creeping up on this green van here in lane 1 now. But also mindful there's a little van that's still at the side of us here. BM's indicating he's coming back across. Just mindful. Just off that gas. Just mindful in my mirror where this little van is here. We're going to overtake this tail lift engineering green van. I have a feeling it might want off at the next junction. But mindful of this guy now, I don't know what he's doing. He's speeding up, slowing down, so he seems in a hurry to get nowhere. So I'm just mindful that he's going to cut from lane 1 to lane 2 right in front of us. He seems in a hurry to get nowhere, you see. He's racing up in lane 1. I think he's going to want off at this next junction. Just passing this green van now, which I said we'd catch up. This will be junction 26 for Oral. We'll just clear this junction, then we'll get back up to Kilter again, up to full belt. Just backing him off. We are bang on 50. We're rolling downhill. Traffic we've just passed there in lane 1, I think they're all hanging back to come off at junction 26. And that's what starts causing your bottlenecks at junctions. It's people dilly-dallying, meandering and hanging back and then braking at last minute and get off at her junction. They start hanging back from 2 miles away. I don't know why. It's like, get on, get past the traffic if you want to get past. I can understand in a temporary 50, yes. Well, they do it on normal open speed motorway as well, we know roadworks. They start hanging back from 2 miles away to come off. I'm just going to look here, just for my own curiosity. Obviously mirrors, but I'm just going to look where them 2 vans are going. Yeah, they're both coming off. Pair of them off at junction 26. So they've been hanging back for 2. Well, the little van was, I don't know, just in a hurry, hanging back, nigh on 2 mile away. Anyway, mirrors, this one's just coming on, this car. We'll just start upping that gas now. We're coming into open speed limit. Are we going to take this tanker? Possibly. So we're just going to stay out into lane 2 for the time being. Back into open speed limit now. I'm going to take the tanker. And then we'll take Berlin. So just mindful now of my speed. I'm just creeping up there to 57, 58. It's easy done. We are descending. Legal limit for us is 60. However, on these trucks, if you go above 57, you don't slow down, it'll register you with an overspeed. So mirrors are coming back into lane 1. My little beauty. So yeah, I know it sounds like I've been having a rant there earlier on, but they're just my opinions, guys. They're just my views. Do you know what I mean? And everyone is entitled to come onto YouTube now and try and treat it as a business and make money out of it. But it's not just in the the trucking world, it's just vlogging in general now. It's getting that way with YouTube now that it doesn't seem fun anymore. Nobody's having any fun, having a bit of a laugh and take. You know, everyone to me now is coming on YouTube and taking themselves far too seriously. Everybody's trying to be the next big fucking internet sensation, the next Casey Neistat or something. Do you know what I mean? And when I first started out on YouTube 12 years ago, it was all a bit of fun. Nobody took themselves seriously. It was just a bit of fun and a bit of crack and a hobby. And now everybody wants to be famous. Everybody now wants to be a celebrity, a YouTube sensation and celebrity. Maybe that's just the culture and the times we're living in, I don't know. But I find it fucking boring these days. Everyone's doing same kind of vlogs as well as... I'm not bad-mouthing truck drivers here, I'm not bad-mouthing truck vloggers. It's just vlogging in general, do you know what I mean? Everyone's doing same kind of fucking videos now, and they all think they're going to be the next best thing. So you get a person now with 1,000 subscribers or less than 1,000 subscribers, and they're monetising the channel straight away, and it's all about views and attention. It's like, you've got 1,000 subscribers. What the fucking hell kind of money do you think you're going to make? You're going to probably make £3 a month. Do you know what I mean? It's not worth a fucking chew of tobacco. And they're trying to promote products, and this video is sponsored by such a thing. It's like, fuck off, you prick. You've got 1,000 subscribers. Nobody watches you shite. Stop trying to fucking be an internet sensation. Well, that's what everybody's doing now. And it's a big turn off, I think. It's fucking crap. It's boring, but hey, it is what it is. I'm nobody. I am nobody. There's 1,001 people out there like me. I'm nobody special. But I get paid a wage for doing my job of driving the truck. So just mindful. We are coming up a bit of a hill. This guy's just joining. He needs to get his speed up a bit. It was hazards on that third shoulder. Third shoulder, lad. Third shoulder. So this is junction 27 for Standish, Chorley, Shevington, Parbold and to the place. We should be coming off next for Charnock Richard. I'm not going to stop at Charnock Richard, I have time to get on. I'm going to pull into Lancaster for my breakfast, I think. To go north snack bar. And just mirrors mindful, there is one coming down Slip Road, but it's a distance off. Traffic's overtaking me, so we couldn't get over anyway. And it's now slotted nicely in behind us. I died, diddle am a die, diddly am a pay, I'm a pay up day, and I died day, up a diddle am a die, up day. Do you know that one, don't you? Huh? It beat Bobby Boris Picking of the Crip Kickers. Or the Shit Flickers. Bobby Boris Kicking of the Shit Flickers. It beat them to #1 with the Monster Mash. It was called I Died Tiddle am a Die. Tiddle am a die, dum die, diddly dum tiddle am a papa didn't pay. I dum a tiddle am a die, dum day. That's the one, yeah. Tony Blackburn's going to feature it next week on Sounds of the 60s. I know he is. He just doesn't know it yet. It's turning out into a lovely day now weather-wise. Let's hope it stays this way all the way up. I'll probably catch up with you later on. I haven't done much filming this week. Well, I haven't done any filming this week really. One, I've not been in the mood, and two, I've not done anything special. I've just been doing my job. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be pumping these videos out one after another. I don't want to do a video just for the sake of doing a bloody video. But I really did feel this morning that I had something to say, or I wanted to say. And as I've said earlier, you might think I'm talking shite, you might think, who the fucking hell does this dickhead think he is? Don't you tell people this, that and the other, but I just feel strongly about it. I think if you're coming into this industry as a tramper, you need to understand what the job is before you apply for it. Because there's no point taking a job as a tramper and then moaning and complaining that you're not getting home during the week. The company is under no obligation to get you home during the week. You are paid to drive a truck, stay out in that truck all week and take a load from A to B all over the UK. That is your bread and butter. Nothing more, nothing less. Simple as. Easy peasy, Japanese. Right, 200 yards markers, mirrors, signals on. We're coming off here at Charnock Ridge, and I'm going to briefly stop, cut you loose, and I'm going to crack on to Lancaster Fortin services, where I'm going to get breakfast at the Go North snack bar, which is just off the slip road at Lancaster services at the other side of the truck park. Never get in here in this big wide load bay. It'd be ideal if you could, but there's always some bugger in it. Right, so I'll cut you loose now, I'll start saying my ta-ra's, and yeah, I've been your old mate Borothea. Once again, you my friend have been beautiful. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, I hope you've taken something out of it. You know, as I've said 300 times, opinions are like arseholes. We all have one and most of them stink. For what it's worth, that's just my 2 pence, and that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I don't want everybody to agree with me. But you know, if you're going to leave a comment, and try and leave something constructive rather than just saying you're a fucking dickhead, you, I don't like you, you're a wanker. Do you know what I mean? I've heard all that shit before. You know, we're all grown adults, or at least we should be, or we tend to be. Just mindful, where's this guy going to go? I'll tell you what, we'll pull him in here. Pull him in at this side. We're all grown adults. If you don't like me, you don't like me. Fair dues, I accept that. I don't expect to be everybody's cup of tea. But if you're going to leave some negative comments, then at least try to make it interesting, original, entertaining, or, you know, constructive criticism, or at least try and be able to string a fucking sentence together. Right, thanks very much. I'm out of here. Ta-da!